Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about the experience of proactive and routine information disclosure and about the proactive information. We're going to put about 3 experiences in Mexico. The first one is called open commissions and diffuse in a simple way the public information generated by the national and international work commissions of public servants. This is, according to the Mexican law, it's an obligation of transparency to make public every single expense that is given to public servant to any commission, national or international. So, in the background, the application is a result of a social media campaign that was called the Challenge for Transparency Trips. It was a call to society with the objective to receive innovation proposals to choose a better technological tool, which aims to turn public servants' commissions, expenses, and outcomes more transparent. And here's how we do it. We call to society to create the challenge. We make a closures, we select some finalists, and we select the winner. And the first we call this project in Spanish is Viajes Claros. So how it works? In general matter, you can. It's favoring accountability exercise. If you want to see how much how much the institute give me for my expenses here in Sri Lanka, you can go there and you can see every single peso that they gave me. And also, if you want to see me how much I'm expending that money, you can also see if I'm spending. If I'm not spending in the hotel, there will be 0. If I'm spending a lot of money, it will be established in that scene. So, in general characteristics, it helps to make transparent the expenses related to work trips, as well as their objectives and results. It's not only I have to say how much I'm expending, so I have to establish what is my objective and what is the result I obtained by the experience of on a working commission. It also improves the quality of information and facilitates access through outstanding figures, visualizations, tables, and open data downloads. You can use any kind of information and you can compare any public servant that uses this app, this tool. You can compare how much I'm expending in my trips and also how much is spending another public servant in the trips. And you can do graphics and you can compare in years and every time I travel. You can do variables, values, and search engines are configurable. What is the benefits of this implementation? It facilitates and regulates entities to comply with the general law of transparency in Mexico. The information structure loaded and displayed in open commissions interoperates with the National Transparency Platform that I spoke before to you, and currently it allows to make a massive load of information in the formats required to the PNT, that's the platform, National Transparency Platform. A complete implementation of the workflow manager would allow the regulated entity to have a work of tools to make their management efficient and transparency by design. The public may consult this information in a friendly way and generate citizens controller exercise. You don't have to ask formally if any expenses or of the commissions. You can go to the platform and you can see anything. If you are not, if there's not clear enough, you can do a petition, a formal petition. But there must be as an obligation to every public servant that any expenses could be in that tool. The other tool is the procurement open data standards in Mexico. This is every contract, every process of the contract of the procurement must be public. And initially, the open contracting partnership determined the minimum data and documents that should be published during the stage of procurement process. This is everything you are contracting with the government, every part. If you are going public with a contract, how many posters going to the public to contract, they should be public. The INAI, with the Open Procurement Partnership in Mexico, aim to have a national data standard taking into considerations procurement, regulations, and terminology process in Mexico. So far, an homologation of the names of all the variables defined by OCP has been developed for its application in Mexico. Also, there is a technological tool originally developed by the presidency, the President of Mexico, and adopted by the INAI to capture the national procurement process of the Institute. So the procurement process consists in 5 stages: the planning, the procurement, the procedure, the awarding, the procurement, and the implementation. This is all the stages when you are contracting with the government. And how to implement this in Mexico? Well, we developed to be considered in the documentation of if the 5 stages of the procurement stages. This is, you have to upload all the information and all the documents that constitutes the 5 stages. If there's a planning, you have to upload all the information. It was a procurement process. Is the process that, I don't know, five companies were interested with contracting with the government. You have to be every information that they gave to participate in this process must be public, and also the awarding of the contract must be also uploaded, and all the process should be uploaded and should be in a manageable open data requirements. Also, the third element that I was talking is transparency of official publicity. A lot of you are journalists, and you know that the first contractor for a lot of media is the government. In Mexico, more of the 90% of the budget of a media is obtained by the government assets. So, in trying to transparency that, we managed to do a tool that is called Transparency of Official Policy. In 2015, the National Institute of Transparency, the INAI, in collaboration with ONG, Fundar, and the Center of Analysis Research, developed the tool Transparency of Official Commissions and the Official Communication and Official Policy Standards. This instrument responds to the need to process control mechanisms in regard to public resource management. What's the project's objective is, according to the law, to support the compliance related with transparency obligations established in Article 10, which established that it must be public the amounts earmarked and expenditure of social communications and government advertising, broken down by type of media, suppliers, contract number, and concept. If the government is giving money to the media, it must be public, and it must be, and you should know, and the public, you should know how much money is going to give, because you can, well, in an ethical matter, you can say if the media is talking in a good way for the government because he's receiving money, or even though he's receiving money, is critical of the government. We have to separate one thing if you're receiving money, and also if the responsibility with the public and the media and the access to information. The tool's general characteristic is a web tool developed using by free software and open code. Here's how you can access it. It's free to implement and replicable in other public entities at national and international level by using their own resources. So it helps to add transparency and spread information regarding those expenses related to social community and official publicity. Its code and documentation will be available with GitHub's public archives. Contains easy to understand visualizations, stimulate accountability by describing expenses related to social community and official publicity, broken down by type of media, suppliers, contract number, and concept or campaign. Allows downloading of open data and has a model that integrates by index the implement regulation entities. Benefits of the implementation, as I already mentioned, the structure of the information which is registered in the transparency platform, official publicity, is interoperable with the National Transparency Platform, giving it permits that exportation of information in the same format as is required by the PNT. Allows the regulated entities to promote and foment a culture of transparency and access to information regarding social communication and diffuse expenses. Allows citizens to consult in the most friendly manner public information that is generated regarding official publicity and social community expenses. Thank you.